Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Vox. Tracy here, and in this tutorial it's part of my year of granny squares. I'm going to show you how to do this absolutely cute mitered flowered granny square, and I did have a project in mind for it, but it would take a little while. So I'm just going to do this as a standalone square, and I may bring it as another tutorial to put it together. I just didn't have the time at the moment to do that as a massive project or as a bigger project because, well, I had the dentist, so, you know, it happens to us all. Anyway, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. There's already been 4 granny squares already in this series, and what I'm doing is I'm making a granny square. When I can, a larger project with that square at the end of the video, and then all of the squares I'm collecting, and they'll be put together to make a couple of blankets or something where they're appropriate. Sometimes they may be with cotton yarn or t-shirt yarn or something like that, so they might not be appropriate. But for this one I'm using DK. This is Stylecraft Special DK, which I did get from my shop, Hobby Rocks. And this is Cloud 9. Again, I did get this from my shop, Hobby Rocks. So there is a link in the description box to all of this. All of these products are in my shop. So I will put a link in the box and also a voucher code. So just going to pause the video for a second while I remove all this stuff and get started. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm going to use a 4mm hook, and this is saffron colour from Stylecraft Special DK. And you just want to make a slip knot, and you can do that however you normally do, your favourite way. And we'll chain 4 chains, and then we're going to join that. So I'm going to go into the first one and slip stitch it together, just yarn over and pull through them both. Now we've got this minute little ring, barely visible, but I want to put in here a total of 12 UK trebles or US double crochets, and I always, when I can, start with the stack. I call it the stack stitch because it's stack double crochet in the UK and a stack single crochet in the US. So you make just a normal sort, if you're doing a UK double or a US single, and then this post here, you just insert your hook into that, yarn over and pull it up, and then yarn over and pull through both, and it just gives you a bigger stitch than the chains. And it also, when you get round, you will have this 2 loops to go into like a normal stitch, which is brilliant. So in here I'm going to put a further 11 stitches. So they're just UK trebles, US doubles. So we yarn over, go in the loop, yarn over and pull up a loop. We've got 3. So we yarn over and pull through 2 of those, yarn over and pull through 2 of those. I'll show you one more time. We go back in and pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. That's as simple as that. So I want a total of 12 stitches, including our first one. And if at any point this gets a little congested, just pull it over like that to make more space in the ring. I'm going to pause the video then, and I will come back to you once I've done them, because I'll lose count if I don't count, if I talk, and if I count, it'll put you off. So I'll come back when I've got them. Okay, so I'm now going to join into the top of my first one. See what I mean? You've got this lovely 2 loops to go in, and I'm going to join there and end off this colour. I've already cut my yarn, and pull it through. So there we go. We have our little ring. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the white, and I'm going to join it at any place apart from there. So I'm going to join it in this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little knot to secure it, because I don't want any of these to look bulky. So sometimes when I join, it doesn't matter, but today for this one, I want it not to look bulky. So I'm going to just put my hook in, bring my loop through, and do a chain to secure it. Now, as I said, I normally do the stack, but in this case I'm just going to chain 2, well chain 3 actually, because we are doing a UK double treble or a treble in the US, but we're not just going to make the treble, we're going to do 2 together for this particular petal. The other petals are different, so don't race ahead. But for that, we're going to yarn round twice, go into this same space. I'm going to work over the tail as I go, pull up a loop. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to stop. And I'm going to yarn round twice, go back into the same space, pull up my loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I've got 3 on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those, and I'm going to make a chain. So I'm going to do that 3 times in all of the other petals, but this one has this on the side, so it already is a little more bulky. So this time I'm going to yarn round twice, go in, pull up my loop, go through 2, go through 2, yarn round twice, back in, pull up my loop, go through 2, go through 2, yarn round twice, go back in, pull up my loop, go through 2, through 2, through all 4, and do a chain. So now they match because this was already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the double treble 3 together, 1 chain, which is a treble 3 together, 1 chain in the US. I'm going to do that in every single one all the way around until I get back to this one. So I'll show you one more time for those who need it. I'm going to yarn around twice, go into the next space, still working over that tail, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn around twice, go back in, pull up my loop, go through 2, go through 2 and stop, yarn around twice, back in, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, and then you've got 4 on your hook, pull through 4 and do a chain. And it might start cupping. I don't like to do 2 chains in between. Some people do, but I don't. So it might start to cup up, but don't worry if it happens. It's meant to. It will even out, don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video then, and I just want you to repeat these steps all the way around. Make sure when you get to this part that you don't do too many. Count them, make sure you only have 12 at the end, and that you go, even if you count them beforehand, just to make sure you know which ones of these you go into, because sometimes where the join is can be a little deceiving. I'll catch up with you then when I get back to the start. Okay, so I'm all the way around, and now I'm going to join, but I'm not going to join at the front of this. I'm going to come over here and join at the top there. It stops you getting a bit of a gap. And then I'm going to end off this white colour, same way as before. Pull it through. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, and as I said, it will cup a little bit, but the next round will sort that out. And I'm just going to snip off. I worked over the yellow. I'm just going to snip that off. That's it. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video for a second while I bring in my other yarn. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so again, we're going to join in any of our spaces between, except this one, so that we can work over the tails as we go. Okay, so I'm just going to join this in any way that I join. I've got many different joins that I like to join, but you can join in your own personal preference. So I'm going to do half a corner in this space. Let me just move this, that's it. So the first one I'm going to do is that stack that I did in the beginning. So I'm going to pull up a loop, go through it, and then go into this one and go through 2. Okay, so I'm also going to put another 2 UK trebles, US doubles in that same space. Now I am working over the tail as I go. And in the next one, I'm going to put 3 UK half trebles or US half doubles. So they are just yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Nice and simple. Oh, I didn't tell you which yarn this was. This is Cloud 9. It is King Cole Cloud 9 double knitting. It's the most softest yarn, it really is. And there's the information if you want to have a look at that. Like I said, I did get this out of my shop, but I forgot to tell you about the yarn. I love the subtle colours in it. It's just so pretty, and this is a great little project for spring and Easter. So that's 2 with half trebles. Now I'm going to do another corner. So I'm going to go back to the UK treble, US double crochet, and I'm going to put a full corner in this time. So I'm going to do 3, like a segment of 3, or a shell, whatever you call yours. And then I'm going to chain 1 and put another 3 in the same space. And I think I've worked over that tail. I've got a little tufty bit. I will cut that off at the end. If it doesn't hide, I will. They do look scruffy sometimes when they're like that. So in the next 2, 3 UK half trebles or US half doubles. Again, it's just making the sides shorter and those corners taller. Making our sides here, so we want them to, as you can see, it's working out quite nicely. And in the next one we're going to do a full corner, so 3, 1 chain and 3. I've got another tail to work over in a second. Okay, so that's the repeat then. We've got the half trebles, half doubles in those 2, and then the full corner. And then if I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to carry on making this into a square in that way. So in the next 2 we'll do our half trebles, half doubles, and then we'll put a full corner, half trebles, half doubles. I'll come back to you when I get to here and we'll complete that corner and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've made it all the way to the end, and now I'm going to go into my very top one there and join with a UK double crochet or a single crochet in the US, just to make sure I've got the same amount of gap in between this particular corner as all the others. Done 1 chain to cinch it down, going to cut my yarn and end off with that colour. Okay, so now I'm going to start the mitre. Now you can use any colours that you really want to with your project, any that you think go together. So you didn't really have to start with yellow or bring in a variegated, you could just use solid colours. I'm going to start by using the same yellow. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I'll just put it into a little square because it just needs a little bit of teasing. But as you can see, it's nice and flat now. Didn't really need to chain between. If you're going to work in them, I always find it opens it up but doesn't make it too holy. Okay, so we're going to turn it over and we're going to start on the wrong side. I'm going to go into the same space because I want to work over the tail. And where's my hook gone? There it is. Just going to go into that space that I made and bring in my new colour, join it the same way. Okay, so my very first stitch is going to be that stack that I mentioned before. I think I might have gone over the knot there. Let's have a look. Yeah, we'll pull that over a little bit so that I don't, otherwise it gets a bit bulky. We don't really want it to be bulky. If that's made any difference or not, but I'm going to do the stack. So that'll be going through 2 loops back into this post and through 2 loops. So with the mitre, you alternate the start to be either a segment of 3 like a shell or a single one on its own. And as we've got a space, we are doing our segments. So we just want 3. This seems very fat compared to that other yarn. They're all DK weights. Okay, just going to drop them. Now, normally speaking, I would work over them and do all sorts of things, but I don't want to confuse you. And these are smaller stitches than we're used to working with a granny square. But we're going to treat them exactly the same. So as you can see, this is our hole here, which is between our shells. We're just going to do normal granny 3 segments of 3 in these spaces, just like we would if it were a normal granny square. Now, the only thing I don't like about this mitered square is that I have to work into the back, and so we have to turn our work. We could just join at the start every time, but that would just make lots of tails. So this is now the corner. I'm going to do a corner in exactly the same way as I always do. So I'm doing 3, 1 chain, and another 3 in the same space. Nearly forgot to do the third one then. Daydreaming. Okay, so again, I'm going to go between these half treble, half doubles and put in my granny shells, clusters, whatever you call them. If I go too fast for you, just pause me and catch up. I'll try not to. Okay, so now this corner is different. We're going to just put 3 in there, because otherwise we'll be making a square, and we're now making a mitered square. So when you turn your work, it's now looking like this. So you could do one row of colour, but I'm going to do 2 for each. That way it does cut down on the amount of ends. Okay, if you wonder why I did that, sometimes when you end off, it's facing that way. I think I like to have it facing the right way. So in this first stitch, I'm going to do a stack again. Now it might be, if you want to put a stitch marker in there, because it does lean over, then please be my guest. But I'm going to put 3 in each space, just like a normal granny. I really don't like the backs of stitches, but failing that, starting every single row, my yarn got stuck, starting the same direction and having a lot of ends to sew. I know I'm looking like I've got a lot of ends to sew now, but that's because I'm not working over them and not incorporating them the way I normally would, because I don't want to confuse anyone. So now we're going to put a corner in the corner space. I decided to do it this way round, starting on the wrong side, so that the last row that I do is on the right side, because I think it looks nicer. So now I'm going to put 3 in there, 3 in there, 3 in there, 3 in there. I'll pause the video and I'll come back to you once I've done my little granny shells all the way along. Okay, right at the end now. So I'm going to go into my last stitch here, which was my first one obviously, and as I did the stack, I've got those lovely 2 loops to do my very last UK treble US double. I'm going to end off this colour and bring in a new one. So I have to change over my genie, so I'm going to pause the video and I will come back to you once I've got my new colour. Okay, so here we are. This is how we ended off. Hate ends. Really do. So I'm going to turn my work, because we're now going, this is where we ended, we're now going this way. Bring in my new colour, and I'm going to go into that stitch there and just join it as I normally would. Pull that, bring it down, and going to do my stack, but I'll work over both of those tails while I do. Doesn't really help me because I've still got to sew them, which is a bit annoying. Actually, if I just joined in the wrong space, I might have. Ignore me, guys, ignore me. We've now got the space. We're going into this hole here. Yeah. My bad, my bad. I'll leave it in just to show you that we all make mistakes. And it's, we're only human after all. So I'm going to do the stack. Or shall I work over the... No point in working over the tail, is there? Really? It's not helping me. Not going to benefit me in any way. Okay, so I've joined in the right place now, guys. Okay, so now I've got my first... I'm going to put 2 in there. I have worked over the tails now, which is a bit of a mess, but never mind. This is just to show you. I'm going to drop them now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what we did before in this round. It is now a repeat. A repeat of this row and this row. So we're going to go all the way along doing our granny shells. We're going to do a corner and we're going to go all the way along this side, just as we did the first time. This is beautiful yarn. I love this colour. It's kind of a lovely turquoise. And I got this darker colour to go with it if I wanted to carry on. But I think by the time I've done a couple of rows in this one, it might be big enough for the tutorial. Not necessarily the project that I was going to make, but that will be a later date. If you're wondering what that noise is, it's because as my wool genie goes around, sometimes the yarn gets kind of, the way they've wound it on the ball, it just goes into a bit of a spinneroony. One chain, and now we're working along this edge. And back into our segments. Nearly there. One more, and then we're at the end. Oops. Oops. Too many oopsies. What are you doing, woman? Okay, so our last one. And then we turn. And this is how it's looking. Looking good, looking good. So we're now going to do a repeat of the row beneath. So this is where we do go into the first stitch. You don't have to stack like me, but I just like it. I like the way you've got those 2 loops. And we're going to do the 3 in all of our segments and the corner in the corner. So we're going to go all the way along here. I'll catch up with you when we get back to this point here. Okay, so now I've made my very last segment of 3, and I'm going to go in my very last stitch again, going through the 2 loops and make my very last UK treble. Now, what you can do here, if you want to, is you can edge it, or you can just carry on and make something larger. But I'm going to end this colour, and there we are. So I'm not going to edge it with white, and there's a reason for that. These are all going to be part of a larger project at the end, and if I edge it, then I can't edge it when I make that project. So it kind of limits me to what I can do. So if I choose white and then I don't choose white to edge the others, it's going to kind of hamper me. So all that's left then is to sew my ends in, which, you know, I'll do in a second. But that's my mitered daisy square. I think it's cute. I really like it. Excuse the ends. I don't like ends, but you know that anyway. But it's really, really pretty. Now, when you go around the edge, you can really make this look a little cleaner at the edge there. But I hope you like it. That's the mitered daisy square. Okay, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye for now.